The center court lights had barely dimmed. The applause from the standing ovation was still echoing through the hallowed halls of the All England Club. And then, silence. Eala, the girl who had taken Wimbledon by storm, the girl who had dethroned defending champion Iga Swiatek on center court, the girl who had become the first Filipino, in the Open era, to reach the fourth round of a Grand Slam, had disappeared from the tennis radar. The tennis world was left with one burning question: where is Eala? Social media exploded. Fans from Manila to London to New York were demanding answers. Had she been injured? Was she taking a break? Why would the woman, who had just become the most talked-about player on the WTA Tour, suddenly vanish? The absence was deafening. And the tennis world couldn't stop talking about it. To understand why Eala's absence has sparked such intense speculation, one must first understand the whirlwind that preceded it. The 21-year-old Filipina had just completed the most remarkable run of her career at Wimbledon 2026. She had stunned the tennis world by defeating defending champion Iga Swiatek 7-6-9, 6-2 on center court, becoming the first player from the Philippines to reach the fourth round of a Grand Slam in the Open era. The victory was a masterclass in resilience. Eala saved 2 set points in the opening tiebreak and finished with 24 winners to just 21 unforced errors, while Swiatek committed 44 unforced errors. The tennis world had witnessed history. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. himself congratulated Eala during an official state visit to Canada, calling her world-class and terrific. Billie Jean King celebrated her achievement, posting, "She is the first Filipino to reach the round of 16. Such an inspiration for kids in the Philippines and all over the world." Maria Sharapova called her a star. And an entire nation of 115 million Filipinos had found a new hero, one who could rival the legendary status of Manny Pacquiao himself. Eala's journey had been a fairytale, from training on a makeshift basketball court in Quezon City to conquering the most iconic arena in tennis. She had worn a white visor etched with the Tagalog phrase, "Kapag lumago, hindi na hihinto, once it grows, it cannot be stopped," and carried her culture with her on the world's biggest stage. The support was overwhelming. Viewing parties were held across the Philippines, with one near Manila opening its doors 4 hours before the local scheduled start time so fans could secure their seats. The Philippine Sports Commission organized a public watch party at the PhilSports Arena in Pasig City, where more than 100 fans gathered to cheer for the 21-year-old. At SM City Cabanatuan, around 150 Novo Ecuadorianos showed their support during a viewing party, waving miniature Philippine flags and chanting her name. "Panalo ka pa rin sa amin, you're still a winner to us," one supporter remarked. Eala's Wimbledon run ended in a hard-fought fourth-round loss to Jasmine Paolini. But she had left an indelible mark. And then, she disappeared. Within hours of Eala's Wimbledon exit, social media platforms were flooded with questions. "Where is Eala?" became a trending topic on X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook. Fans from the Philippines and around the world were demanding updates. The silence was deafening. "I'm crying with jubilation. Thank you, Lord God, this is for the Philippines' pride," one fan had written after her victory over Swiatek. Now, those same fans were expressing concern. "She's like a ray of hope for the Philippines," said fan Roberto Ocampo Jr. at Wimbledon. "Especially at her age. She made history. That's one thing that we can tell to the next generation." The Filipino community had rallied around Eala like no athlete since Manny Pacquiao. When he would have fights, it would really be like holidays in the Philippines, Eala had said of Pacquiao. "We would gather, and we would watch his fights. People would go off work. It would really be an event." Now, Eala was carrying that same torch. She unifies Filipinos. Kuya Barang, a superfan known for wearing a traditional barang and salakot while waving the Philippine flag, said during a public watch party at the PhilSports Arena. "To be honest, tennis has never really been popular here, right? But because of Eala, we are learning to appreciate a new sport. She's introduced us to something we can love just as much as she loves it. The speculation about her absence was amplified by the weight she carries on her shoulders. Fans were worried that the pressure had become too much. Others feared that she might have been injured during her grueling Wimbledon campaign. The silence from Eala and her team only fueled the speculation. As the silence continued, speculation turned to injury. Had Eala been carrying an injury during her Wimbledon run? The tennis world knew that Eala had faced injury concerns earlier in the year. In January 2026, during the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open, she had called for a medical timeout at the 43-minute mark of her opening match, with her right thigh wrapped in bandage. There was just a bit of discomfort, but it's nothing serious, Eala had assured fans at the time. Physical pain is definitely a part of an athlete's lifestyle and jobs, so we have to find ways to best manage that and not let it affect us mentally. But concerns persisted. In May 2026, Eala and her doubles partner Victoria Mboko withdrew from the women's doubles at the French Open just minutes before their scheduled match. The withdrawal was likely because of injury to the Canadian world number 9, but the timing raised eyebrows. Eala had already exited Roland Garros early after a first-round loss to world number 17 Eva Jovic. The Filipina, world number 37, was then expected to begin her grass court campaign at the WTA 125 Lexus Birmingham Open, which began on June 1. She had done just that. She had won the WTA 125 title on the Birmingham grass courts in the build-up to Wimbledon. She had then beaten world number 2 Elena Rybakina in Berlin. And she had reached the fourth round of Wimbledon. But had she pushed her body too hard? The tennis world was left wondering. Sports commentators began analyzing her physical condition during the Wimbledon matches. Some noted that she appeared to be struggling with her movement in the later stages of the tournament. Others pointed to the heavy strapping on her right leg that had been visible in earlier rounds. The absence, they speculated, might be a precautionary measure to allow her body to recover from the grueling grass court season. Beyond the physical concerns, there was the psychological toll. Eala had carried the hopes of 115 million Filipinos on her shoulders. She had become a symbol of hope for a nation that has long been overshadowed by other sports. The pressure was immense. In the days following her Wimbledon exit, Eala had spoken about the challenges of handling pressure. I think it's important that every match I played this week, and every match that I play, I go in with the self-esteem and the thought that I'm able to win, she had said after her loss to Paolini. She had also admitted that the support, while incredible, came with its own challenges. It's obviously an amazing thing for me to be able to do that for my country, she said. But I guess it's also very emotional every time I'm able to pass a new step, or break new ground, just because it's also personal goals and personal achievements. The psychological weight of her historic run may have necessitated a break. Sports psychologists often recommend that athletes take time away from the spotlight after intense periods of competition and public attention. Eala's absence might simply be a necessary pause to recharge, reflect, and prepare for the next chapter of her career. Despite the speculation, Eala herself has remained optimistic about her future. After her Wimbledon exit, she spoke with remarkable maturity about her journey. I gave everything that I could. I did everything that I could do today, so I'm proud of that, she said. I have to be proud of what I've achieved this week. I'm leaving with positive thoughts. She also refused to make excuses about her serve or her performance. I have days like that. Everyone has days where they don't play their best tennis. I understand that's part of the job. I don't think I'm going to be playing the best tennis of my life every single day. The Rafa Nadal Academy, where Eala has trained since she was 13, also paid tribute to its standout graduate. So proud of you, Alexandra Eala. Keep shining. The best is yet to come. Vamos! Eala rose to a new career high ranking of number 28 after reaching the Wimbledon fourth round. The tennis world knows she will be back. The silence is a pause, not an ending. And the fans will be waiting. As one fan put it, she may have been absent from our screens, but she will never be absent from our hearts.